we go. And hello everyone! Welcome to Cosplay Tea Time, a fun community of cosplayers bringing you pre-recorded podcasts where we talk about animes, we talk about fandoms, colors, holidays, you name it, we'll eventually get a podcast out there. But today we're going to be talking about the art of cosplay, with our theme being about where to buy cosplays. So I just want to say, just to cover everything, any brands, any websites, or any stores that we mention, we are not sponsored by any of these people. But if you want to, we have an email address down below, so that works too. So I just wanted to clear that up right away. But let's do something a little bit fun and exciting. Let's introduce our guest and tea sippers here with me today, starting with...
I'm Willow. I go by they, them pronouns, by the way. Just a little FYI. Yeah. Anything else I should say?
Social media handles.
Oh, so my TikTok is MusicWisp, where I do a bunch of cosplay stuff, and I also have a YouTube channel called Willow Ann's Best because it's cosplay and everything else in between.
So I'm Springy. I am dying of heat. I go by he, him. And you can find me on Demon Interviews, Demon Interviews, plural, on pretty much every single social media. You can find my personal stuff from there. Shameless promotion. Willow's episode comes out as of this recording to this Wednesday. Yay! Finished the thumbnail 5 minutes ago. Hey!
And it looks great.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm BelladonnaRoseCosplays. I really don't go by any gender. I guess if I'm cosplaying a male, you cosplay male pronouns, or if I'm cosplaying a female, I really don't mind. But my Instagram is BelladonnaRose.cosplays, and there you'll find my link tree with all of my other social media, along with some good stuff. So yeah, I just updated my link tree, so take a look, take a listen, take a little
gander. Alrighty, sounds good. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. My name is Jen. I'm the founder of Cosplay Tea Time, as well as today's host. I go by she, her pronouns. You can find me Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at JenCosplays45. And today I am cosplaying Lloyd Voyager from Spy X Family. So, hey! Intro's done and out of the way. We just have one fun little icebreaker question for everyone, which is the last anime or show that you watched you're now stuck in. Which show is it?
Well, I rewatched Full Metal Alchemist with so much, and so now I am stuck. It is Brotherhood, in case you guys are curious which iteration that I'd be stuck in. Yeah.
Last show I watched. Well, the last show I think they watched was a documentary about Air Jordans. So it's not a different universe though. That's just here. I live in the 80s, I guess. But like actual shows, it would be what was it? I don't remember. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I live in the 80s, it seems. Not even like a supernatural 80s, just the 80s.
of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be stuck there too. Anyway, I'm stealing the show right now, but I don't know what world I'd be stuck in. I know the last thing that I watched was My Hero Academia, and I'm still in the middle of season 6. So I'm not sure if I technically be stuck in My Hero Academia, but right now, I can't decide if the answer for me to you guys is the show Ruby or No Comment, which No Comment is not a show. It's just No Comment. I don't know.
Show of life. No. That too. Let's see. So the last anime I watched was Fairy Tale. I'm on episode like 124. I'm like barely scratching the surface, but there's a lot of confusing things going on right now that it was like, I need to take a break. So I watched a little bit of the new Bridgerton show about Queen Charlotte, and like 2 episodes in, and I'm like, all right, you're gonna binge this in like quickly, so you need to like put a pause on it and stuff. So I mean, I wouldn't mind being stuck in Bridgerton, all the dresses and getting to do like the walking around and stuff. I think, and tea, of course, tea parties would be amazing. So yeah, so there. Alrighty, that concludes our little icebreaker. We're going to do a little commercial break. I need to think of more adjectives, but I'll do this for now, which is, if this is your first time joining us for tea at Cosplay Tea Time, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, we do pre-recorded podcasts featuring different themes, animes, art of cosplaying. We take a moment out of our day to kind of gather, talk about these topics, and then, you know, folks out there are listening. So, and if you're a fellow cosplayer out there and you would like to join one of our podcast recordings, just message us on our Instagram. We have a link tree down below. Make sure you follow and support all of our socials. We'd greatly appreciate it. As well as like following our guest and tea sippers as well, because they are awesome and amazing people, and I cannot do this without them. I'd be all by myself talking. Nobody would watch. But when people join, it's 10 times more fun and so much more exciting. So, and also too, just want to say thank you to viewers out there who have supported us, follow us, comment, like, subscribe, all that fun jazz. It really means a lot. A little goes a long way is what I've learned with creating a podcast about cosplay. So, good stuff, good stuff. Alrighty, and that concludes commercial breaks. So now we get into the topic of the hour-ish, hour and a half-ish. Hopefully not longer than 2 hours. We'll see. See how this holds up. But we are going to be talking about where to buy cosplays, especially for like new cosplayers that want to start cosplaying and whatnot. It's always the question of like, where do you get your cosplays? Or, you know, you see somebody's cosplay in like an Instagram post or a TikTok. It's like, where did you get that cosplay? There's multiple websites, and we're going to get into all of that. With the first one, with our first question, so Willow, get ready. I'm getting ready to like sip my tea over here. The first question is, what is your #1 site/place to buy cosplays?
So honestly, none of my cosplays are like official. Honestly, I just go to random thrift stores. I have kind of an idea what I want, and I just start scourging for things that's kind of close. Because I'm able to sew, so if needed, I can alter things to make it fit what character I'm doing. I've bought a few off of different websites and stuff, and most of the time I just like they're screen printed and they're just kind of thin, and I like that being able to have layers and have it more sturdy, so I just stick to thrift stores.
Normally I mainly stick with Amazon. A lot of mine are like put together from a few things I just find on there. But whenever I want something that would be considered to be more of a canon thing, recently I've been going to Etsy. Because they have some really good stuff, really quality stuff on there. And then there's also but yeah, those are the main 2 places I go to. I'll talk about other places later on, though.
Okay.
Yeah, well, with me, it's kind of more of a diverse story because I prefer making my cosplays a lot of the time, especially if I'm able to crochet them. That's really fun. It is really fun. But you know, if I am gonna get a cosplay, if I'm able to get it used, I get it used. If I'm not able to get it used, I look more over towards the option of getting it new. And really, I look on all of the sites that sell cosplays, and I also look on eBay. Poshmark has a lot of good cosplays, because Poshmark is more diverse. It's not stick to one, thing like Depop is. Depop's more for vintage, so you're gonna have a bit more of a hard time trying to find the specific cosplay you want. Versus Poshmark, you might have a better chance. eBay is not sometimes very reliable because of certain sellers online. They're not really reliable either. There are bad sellers and there are good sellers. Just look out for that. And when it comes to replacing a cosplay, a lot of the times I do look into just getting the cosplay, but then if it's a cosplay I can easily remake, then I just go for it, and I hit up all the fun-loving stores, thrift stores. I hit up Walmart. I hit up Joann's, Michael's, you name it. So
shopping around, shopping spree time. Alrighty, let's see. So for me, most of the time I do try to look at thrift stores first, just to see, especially underlayers and stuff, just a plain black turtleneck or a white short sleeve shirt for Nora or something. I'll go to those places first and kind of scout around and see what I can find. But mostly Amazon is where I definitely shop for most of my cosplay pieces, especially accessories and all that. However, Lloyd is a different story because his suit is so specific and everything. So I actually got his suit off of AliExpress, which does take a little while to get to where I live and whatnot, but it was worth it because it's very, very well made and it's very comfortable, if slightly warm. But yeah, AliExpress, Amazon, thrift stores, and sometimes Target. Sometimes Target might have a couple pieces that I might need for a character, or again, just undergarments and whatnot that I'll need. So, all that good stuff. Alrighty, next up we have, how do you budget your cosplays?
With a lot of restraint, because I want everything to be absolutely accurate, but money, there's not much around. So I try to kind of guesstimate how much each piece is going to cost by the thrift store prices that are around me, and then I basically add that up, and that's my budget. So I can go over a few bucks, but I try to stick to that and that only, because I'll be like, oh, but I could get this, oh, but I could get this, and next thing I know, I'm $200 in this whole entire thing, when honestly I should have just gave up a while ago.
One of the best ways I've noticed, since I'm mainly finding stuff on Amazon, is I find all the pieces I want, and even if I don't get them at that moment, I know where they all are, I know how much they are, and I can budget out when I'm gonna get each item, just putting them in lists, or in the outside of cart area for that some sites have. It's not in the cart, but it's also not in a list. It's in that weird little limbo area. Sometimes I put some stuff there, okay, these are gonna be the next few things I'm gonna get. But then there's also the commissioning people to do cosplays. It's whew, that's a sweet penny right there. That's a save up some money for that type of thing, or save up before you even ask sometimes as well. But yeah, I've gotten lucky with a few of my people I've commissioned. Either they're very reasonably priced, or very underpriced, or they let me do payments, which is what's going on with my Rusted Knight cosplay right now, $300 a month. But the wallet still cries, but it cries less. Uh, it's still but yeah, it's hard to find a good budget for different cosplays because some need more pieces. Sometimes you need to buy brand new pieces. Sometimes you already have the pieces. It's very hard to budget if you don't have an idea of what you have or what you need for said character. And also just learning that sometimes said character you can't make perfectly or even buy perfectly because they don't have legs sometimes, and you have legs, and it's a problem. If we could just detach our legs and make it into a tail, that would be very helpful for one of my cosplays. I'm looking at him right now. He's actually right next to my camera. That's why I got this idea. But yeah, budgeting. That's what the topic was. And yeah, I feel like I'm okay with it. Sometimes I'm not, but yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I cannot get what Springy said out of my mind, and it is not of any of the advice he has given. It is more over the legs turning into the tail. Okay then. But the way I budget my cosplay stuff is, I really go into research about what specific things that I need, if I can get them on Amazon or not. Like, at first I do all of the research, like, okay, so this is what I need, this is what I need, and then I go in and I figure out the price for what I need, and then I total it. So I total it all together per shopping list because, like certain stores, they'll sell certain things and other stores won't. So that's just what I do. And, I'll add them all up together, where they are. And then, I'll decide if what I need to use right away and what I need to use later. And for the stuff that I use later, I can decide if I want to get them then if I want to get them, later. But for the stuff that I need to use right away, I prefer to pay up with straight cash, versus the stuff that I know. Oh, I can always just use this later. I don't have to use this right away. I can pay it on credit if I need to. But I still prefer to pay everything on cash anyway, even though that kind of makes me that makes me want to scream and cry. But I also prefer to pay with straight cash because this cosplayer right here, her father likes to pay off her credit card bills. So I have a very sweet man in my life, and that is my father. I know not everybody gets to have a sweet father like I do, but I'm one of his daughters that just doesn't like to take advantage of that. But when it's a business ending, it's kind of a different story.
Yeah. Stick
to
the.
Don't pay me back, and I'm like, it's a business.
Oh, goodness.
Never in your business. You want me to use your card, right? It's business. Yeah, my dad doesn't like taking from these girls, but so unsquirreling and going back to what I was saying. Those are the things that I do. I decide what I can pay in credit and what I can pay on cash, depending on what I use, exactly what I know I'm going to use right away, or what I know that I use later. So I have different shopping lists for different stores. That way I know, okay, this is how much I'm going to spend. I know that I need for all these products in the store all together, even though I'm only going to be getting these parts like right now. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I think that's just me. But yeah, that's on my stuff. Jen, hit it. Take it away.
Take it away. Alrighty. Let's see. So budgeting cosplays, because I have learned anything cosplay can be a very expensive hobby, so for sure. Because it's not just buying like your cosplay, but also like storage, your wig holders, like all your wig stuff. We just did the wig recording and everything. So how I usually budget is I try not to like just go ahead and get a cosplay right away. I'll kind of like look at different websites and compare prices and see, like what are the reviews and everything like that. Not only that, because I do a lot of closet cosplays, whenever I'm looking for like a piece, like let's say, I just recently bought a red skirt that I'm thinking about using for Musa from Winx Club and whatnot, but I'm like, oh, I could also use the red skirt for like either like an OC or Supergirl or something like that. So I try to like invest a piece, but I use it for like 3 or 4 different other cosplays as well. So try not to spend too much because I'm accumulating so much going on. But I do try to I try to stick with like cheaper things on the end, but if it's something like, Lloyd's suit and whatnot, it's like, all right, can bite the bullet, can spend a little bit more because I know in the end, like, it'll be worth it, like all the photos and stuff, because eventually he's going to get to a photo shoot, yeah, exactly. Words tonight. They don't want to come out right. So sorry. But yeah, so and oh, that was the other thing I wanted to mention. I think we've mentioned before there's an app called Cosplanner. Again, hashtag not sponsored. Yes, I think there is a way you can set like a price on like items or something. I'm not gonna look at my phone right now because then I'll just start doom scrolling on TikTok. But I think there is a way you can, or just like make a note and be like, all right, like I need this piece. Okay, like this piece, I don't want to go above like $10. I don't want to go above $20. All right, like what's my total-ish? Okay, like $30. Okay, so kind of budget, but crazy. Budgeting that way is also helpful as well. Just like having like a ton of notes and apps to kind of help keep that budgeting. So yipper doodles. And I almost touched on this next question. Ooh, I stopped myself just in time. But I want to hear what folks have to say, which is how/where do you store your cosplays?
So I'm renting a room, and I may or may not have used the other empty room's closet and just started putting them in there. So far, nobody's noticed, or if they haven't said anything. So I have them by like dresses, because I have some like nice fancy formal wear dresses, and then it goes from Ren Fair stuff to cosplays divided by like what universe they're from. And on the top shelf, I have like my BB gun. I have different other props and belts and stuff up there. My wigs, I need to learn to take care of better. They're just currently scattered about my room, but that's how I keep mine sorted.
Talk to Bella after. Talk to Bella after about
ask
the whole wig.
Ask me. I love wigs.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Talk to me.
You can definitely talk afterwards. So for sure. So let's see.
So where I store my cosplays is right there, over there, and over there. Anywhere I can shove it is where I store it.
The answer is yes.
Because the only things that aren't in my room is my whole Springtrap cosplay, which is in storage because it's a lot, and Jean's shield because it's a lot and I don't want it to get ruined by cats. But every other cosplay thing I own is either right there, on either side of me, on a shelf somewhere behind me, or in one one crate. I have a crate of just random cosplay items it's mainly my OCs. My OCs live in a crate. My other ones live on hangers and on a shelf. I say on a shelf because there's Lord Draken and then Green Ranger is underneath my desk right now. And then Jade. Don't know where I'm going to put Rusted Knight at this moment.
Oh,
I will have to reorganize. Anywho, yeah, so my cosplays are there, over there, and over there. Literally.
Within arm's reach.
Scattered about. With the cat walking around too.
Yes, all
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, that's Walter.
adorable. He's at a table.
Walter!
No, that's Walter. He's
Hi,
gray.
Walter.
He's gray and white. He's Walter
White
Whitepaws. Yeah, and then armor, and I have like multiple things hanging right here. I might move some of these to be hanging right here too. No, now I'm getting distracted with my organization plans, which I should probably think about more than I do.
Oh, dear.
About some things. I over-organize some things. Like anything online is too organized. I have folders and folders and folders and folders.
I see.
And then my room, there's a reason why it's facing this way and not the other way around or any other wall. Yeah, cosplays there, there, and there. That's where they are stored.
Cosplays stored for me, it's a different story depending on where I'm at. Just a little sum up thing about me is almost every single year I relocate for 2 to 3 months to a place up north in another state. We're gonna hang out with like my family and my cousins, and basically it's like a vacation spot, but it's like a thing we do each year, and we have cool, fun-loving cottage. But in the place that I normally have all my cosplay stuff going on, that's where I store most of my materials, my unfinished cosplays and stuff, and just like Springy, anywhere where I can shove it is anywhere I can shove it. I know I've just reorganized down like in my home. I have an official cosplay dresser now. Cleared out that dresser and I made a whole cosplay dresser. I have like a dresser for like my normal clothes and stuff. I can like do closet cosplay with that too. But I have like it organized, and then I have stuff under my bed and then stuff in like a cubby and stuff like that, and that's what's in my home. But in the summer home, I don't really take that much cosplay stuff with me. I try to keep it pretty simple and pretty light if I'm going to be making a new costume, or if I'm going to be doing like a bunch of stuff. And this year's theme is crocheting, so I have all this yarn on a bench right over here, and then I have a closet in there where I can just hang up whatever I need to. So yeah, I have a little 2-thing drawer. The first half is like cosmetology stuff with all my cosmetology things. Perfect for doing wigs. Wonderful. And styling here in general. And then I have the bottom tub, which is for, in my summer home, I have my room, I have, a closet where I am able to, not just store things, but I can also do film stuff. I try to keep it pretty light with, all the projects that I want to do during the summer. And, I bring a lot of stuff up here on top of that, with me being a cosmetologist, so all that fun stuff. I have like 2 drawers. I have the top drawer full of my cosmetology stuff, and then I have my bottom drawer full of, wigs and extra things, and then, out here it's kind of more a little bit scattered, as you can tell, this bed that's not made right here, like that's where like certain wigs can like be stored if I'm gonna be doing something. Other than that, they're kind of stored away where they are. And I try to limit myself how many cosplays that I bring up too, because shipping in boxes is expensive, but getting a whole new cosplay is more expensive. I went Beast Boy on purpose. Yeah, I have like materials, on like my desk and like little compartments down below here. Yarns like scattered over here. It's like neatly scattered. And then I have like an empty box for when I'm done doing certain projects I can put in that box. At the end of the summer, before I have to ship that box back, I reorganize and I rearrange everything, and it's a whole process. So that's kind of my whole situation and storing process. There isn't really a specific way that I store my cosplays and everything each year. It kind of just shifts around whenever I come to my summer home. But I guarantee you there is a place where I do store them, and they are safe places. And further ado, we have somebody who popped in a little late, but welcome, welcome, welcome. If you'd like to answer this question, please do. We'd love to hear it.
What's the question?
We're doing where to buy cosplays. The current question is how/where do you store your cosplays? And also introduce yourself.
I'm Jason, and I store my cosplay stuff in my closet. Unless I run out of room, I'm gonna be like, oh, joy. Now I'm gonna be panicking.
Very, very cool. Ready to wrap up this question. So for me, how I store my cosplays is I have a large wooden piece of furniture that I made over at a friend's house. Didn't quite come to plan, but I store all my extra hangers. It's pretty much all my Ruby and anime cosplays. And then I have a second rack that has like all of my like undershirts, has like the skirts, couple little odds and ends. And then, of course, I have my boxes underneath me with all of my cosplay props and equipment, and then another crate just full of cosplays that I'm debating on keeping or selling, giving away, whatever the case may be. So, yes, cosplay storage. Everybody just kind of makes it their own. It's always a unique experience to see. So, ready. Our next question is, how do you measure out / plan to buy fabric for cosplays?
So if I'm not able to find what I want thrifting, I have a notebook that's actually next to me that I will sketch out like kind of what I want, and then I do like some rough measurements so I can kind of basically have it planned out and then just math together all the measurements to figure out how many yards, and always try to get an extra yard more than I think I might need. Because worst comes worst, extra fabric. Oh no. But that's kind of how I go. I very rarely use actual patterns because I am lazy, and while I like puzzles, cutting on that really thin paper scares me, and I've ripped them so much, which is why I just try to make my own patterns.
Yeah.
I am the exact opposite. I do not plan at all. Well, for me, making things, I haven't done anything with fabric yet, but with foam, I get a certain amount of foam and then I see what I can do with it. Because I have like ideas in my head. I'm like, okay, this is kind of where I'm aiming for, what I'm looking for, and stuff like that. So I get like two biggish sheets. Make sure those are two different words in my brain. And I see what I can do with them. And that was mainly because the pieces I was doing was just like one. I took so many classes on this. Why can't I remember it? But like a section of your leg, they have one of my legs, both my forearms, and then one shoulder. So I knew that I wasn't gonna need enough to wrap my whole body in. But I knew that I was gonna need a decent amount. So I was like, okay, how am I gonna do this? I'm like, okay, I somewhat measured it. I took some inspirations from here and there. mainly for a lot of my cosplays, like Grim Jean, I took some inspiration from Mark 50's design for Grim Jean. It's MRK, there's no A, and then 50, I do believe that's what their name is. So just look up Grim Jean or Grim Pura, you'll be able to find their stuff pretty easily. That's one of the main inspirations for the mask. If nothing else, the mask that I use. But even with the mask, I knew how to work with the masks because I've done them many of times before, and I just kind of went through and was like, okay, I have an idea. I wanted to be about here. I kind of traced it lightly, and then I took it off my face, and then I cut it, and I just tried to figure out how to do it. I was parting my hair one way. I started parting my hair the exact opposite way, so it will cover up that one part of mask that I have to leave to make sure it stays on my face. I have parted my hair the opposite direction for one cosplay for like 3 years, and now it's just how I part my hair. It's just like ah. Because that was before I planned on wearing wigs. So now I'm stuck looking like this. But yeah, a lot of the processes of how for the shoulder piece were already kind of built into the Jean cosplay for Jean arc. So I just kind of, and since I wasn't really changing that much about it, I was able to just kind of just add to or replace pieces from the commissioned one I got. So that was pretty easy. But usually I don't. Whenever I buy them, I either buy them like this or I buy full shirts or something like that. I don't usually have to make a lot of pieces myself because I would rather pay somebody to do that personally, because I don't have the skills right now, and it would end up costing me more in the long run than if I just paid somebody who knows what they are doing.
All right, the sun's in, so as I just answer my little question, I'm gonna do this. And no, am I flirting with anybody by doing this? It is just the sun I'm trying to block everybody from. So, to answer the question, when it comes to the amount of fabric that I need and stuff, most of the time I do all that fun love and calculation stuff where, so the measurement around my waist, bust area. If it's going to be a male character, I always take measurements with my binder on. And, stuff like that. With men's clothing, it's a bit more, or I can do it a little bit more loose. With women's clothing, it's a bit more of a risk because, of like figure and stuff and different patterns. And, sometimes you're making a costume where, the character's from a different time period. So you really have to calculate how much fabric you need and then look what it is per yard and calculate how much it's going to be per yard. And then on top of that, extra fabric. How much extra fabric do you think that you actually need to get per yard? You can't work off of 1 yard of fabric and make this, fancy 18th, 19th century Victorian gown and expect it to turn out great. As much as we wish that would happen, no. Fabric is a bit of a tricky story, especially when you are working with a client and you're doing commission for them where you have to use fabric. That's where you kind of have to go a little bit the easy route and do, some Amazon digging and stuff. I know if you know what your sizes, if you know what your measurements are, and you are able to get a sewing pattern, definitely follow the instructions on the sewing pattern packet. Like, have it on the back, you can read it, and when you open that stuff up. If you feel like you can't work with the paper, just for once work with the paper, but you can transfer it in your size to, you know, a stiffer piece of paper. I just use printing paper, honestly, for all of my patterns, and I have a bunch of those. So yeah, I have one for my Jinx top, in which I'm very proud of. As you can see, my Jinx wig's in the back. But I kid you not, I hand set that thing for 3 days straight for a full set of 20 hours for 3 days. That was fun, and I had school. But you know, just understand what you're working with. If they don't have free patterns, because we all love free patterns, you know, definitely try to experiment with, you know, paper or with, you know, extra scrap fabric that you don't want to use anymore. You can even use like little strips of scrap fabric that you have and like make full sheets. I know it will take a lot of time, but if you want to, you know, practice working with like fabric a little bit more and you have like scrap fabrics, that's the thing. If you're making like little plushes too, you can use like scrap fabric or different things, just like stuff them in. So,
kind of talking more
okay,
sewing than actual getting the fabric.
Swirling.
We have a podcast on sewing.
Yes, and you can even make fabric with like some sweet yarn. Sweet yarn.
Ooh.
I'm obsessed with yarn. If I could show you guys right now, I have like a whole bunch of yarn on a chair over there, which I'm not. We probably don't have time. So, next person, take it away.
Question is, how do you measure out plan to buy fabric for cosplays?
For me, that's a little bit hard because I've never done fabric type stuff yet. So
that's okay. Yeah. We'll eventually Cosplay Tea Time Adventures to the Fabric Store. We're gonna record that. Will is like, yes, let's go right now. That was probably close to the
oh
segue,
boy.
but yeah.
But
So.
I do have certain fabric I'm trying to use for a project that I want to hold for the longest time, and I should get it finished, but lazy me is just like, no, you can wait.
Do it. Oh gosh, the Kermit meme makes its way into a podcast recording.
Do it. I'm just busy. I have to get wood for it, and that's it. I have to get the wood and just get everything all set up and done.
Nice. Well, hopefully that comes all together.
Yeah, because I'm hand making myself Death's box for Demon Slayer, so. Because buying it will cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, fabric can definitely get pretty pricey, and depending on like what kind of style, color, like purple fabric is expensive. And we talked about that in the purple podcast recording, which might be out by the time this is out. Sure, I think. I'm not looking at the schedule. Later tater. So yeah, for me, you know, I've had experience growing up buying fabrics. My mom, you know, she was a seamstress. She would make like clothes for my sister and I and stuff. So we would always like go out and get like the fabric and whatnot. And something that I learned early on is like, if you're on the fence about something and you're not sure, you know, because sometimes fabric can stretch. It can kind of like, especially if it's like elasticy or something, always get like half a yard more. You know, if you get more and then you have extra, you could always, like Bella said, you can make like a cute little plushie. We always made scrunchies, which was always fun because then you'd have a scrunchie to kind of match your outfit. So, you know, it's always something cute and fun, and they're very easy to make. So, but yes, you know, just looking at the pattern. We have a sewing podcast. We'll probably do another one here soon, going more in depth of like, you know, especially if you're doing like what's it called? Not makeshift, but like alterations and stuff. You have to also plan for that as well. And, you know, if it's like a small minor alteration, like popping up a collar or something, pretty easy and simple. But if it's like, if you're adding like another overlay of a skirt or something, that could get really pricey. So I've had experience with that, and it's not fun. So yes, so just, you know, half an extra yard more if you're unsure. Just map it out, plan it out, and remember, measure twice, cut once. So, alrighty, next up, we are going to be talking about, do you have experience getting cosplays commissioned?
I have zero.
I have 0.
So
Because
Willow,
money is tight, unfortunately.
so Willow, none, Springy.
Yes, I do. Finally something I can talk about in depth.
Share away.
We go, let's
Uh,
go! Yay!
But so stuff I've gotten commissioned. I'm gonna like not just like you sent your size into a person on Amazon. I'm not gonna count that because like I don't know. I just they're offering that one thing. Oh wow, my leg has pins and needles now. That's fun. Okay. So the first cosplay I ever got commissioned was Jean Arc. That took about a year. The commissioner had things happening in life, so happens. But and it was the whole armor for volume 7, 8, and I'm not gonna say anything else because that might be a spoiler. And it's not that type of recording yet. And I got it for like 125, I do believe. Excuse me. Believe that's what it was, something like that. And then the next thing I got commissioned was Jean's Sword and Shield, which together was $600. But like this thing's sturdy. Like I'm not gonna hit it against a wall, but like because it's foam. But like I have swung this thing, and it still looks as good as out of the box. The next thing I got commissioned was I don't think I got anything else commissioned until the thing I got for somebody else. And then I did and currently I'm getting commissioned, or I'm getting done and currently paying for the Rusted Knight from Ruby as well. All of my Ruby ones I'm just having other people make for me. I can't do it, it seems. Oh, and I'm also, as of this moment, I'm also getting Roman Frostwick, being an OC alternate universe, his coat being commissioned as well. I'm really excited for it. I think it's in this direction. But getting that done, then the gift, and then the Rusted Knight. The Rusted Knight's going really well. His is altogether going to be $1,200. If I add another $1, he'll make me a sword too. Add another $100. But like that's for chest armor, shoulder pads, wrist, gloves, helmet, hips, legs. So whatever that part of my leg is called, elbows, it's the whole thing. And he's letting me do it in payments. Thank God, or whatever scientific belief you believe in. But yeah, I've had a lot of I've had a lot of experience having other people make things for me. In general. So yeah, all those are they all came out really well. I've been getting updates on the Rusted Knight. He's coming out pretty well. The Sword and Shield, I've had them for like 2 years now, and they're still very solid. The only thing is like when it got shipped, this teeny tiny bit of the tip got bent, but that was just because shipping. But like if I don't point it out, you can't even tell. So like it's not even a big deal. And then no, the next thing I got commissioned was I think those are the only 2 things I've gotten commissioned into here, so I can have them in front of me. These are both the Sword and Shield are made by, and the gift I got. They are all made by Nerds Be Creating, I do believe, is their thing on Etsy. They do an amazing job, but they're also they do an amazing job. They do have a deal on Sword and Shield, even though they're two different listings. Just tell them you're getting them both, and they'll give you like a code for like 10% off the very expensive thing. So instead of it being like $600, it's like $580 or something like that. But then the shipping kind of kills that sale. But that's just because they're giant. They're giant pieces, and they have to be shipped safely.
Yes.
And they're also my mom's talked to them because technically these were birthday gifts. I've talked to them we only commission them when it's gifts. I never commission them for myself, it seems. They're always super nice, they're super sweet. And it's super fun getting stuff done by them because they're really good. They get them done pretty quickly too. For something like as big as some of these things are, like they get done pretty quickly. Like I never commissioned something brand new. A lot of them were like already on their store, so they already knew how to make them. But like still, like for giant things that last and look like this is and like this lasts. They go very quickly, and it's really amazing the type of stuff that they make. And yeah, instead of me just continuing to do free advertisement, I'm going to continue on to Bella.
So personally, myself, I have never gotten anything commissioned, but I am somebody who you can come to commission mostly, wigs and hair tinseling services too. Over online, I do a lot of commissions. I do a lot of hair tinsel commissions where you can request for me to embed hair tinsel and wigs as your wig styling service option. You or if you want just a temporary situation with tinsel, there is the clip-in method. I know that if I'm not in the same area as my clients or my customers online, the option of like embedding hair tinsel into the hair with bead or tying them in to the hair personally is not usually an option. But if you ask me for any like hidden service things that I can do, when I tell you like what I can do, or if I reach out to you like, hey, do you want me to help you get this done as a commission service? And it's not usually on my commissioning menu, and that means that it's a hidden service that I know how to do. One of them being costume pieces, or certain costume pieces, or like a whole costume if I'm able to do it. And stuff like that. So you can definitely ask me if I have any like hidden services going on, and I'll let you know what else that I'm able to do. But mostly on my menu that is out is wigs, art commissions, art requests. Commissions and requests are different, both in price and in policy and process. Wigs, I have a policy too. And then hair tinsel, I also have a policy too as well. So, yeah. I am a commissionist, but I personally have never gotten anything commissioned. However, I am thinking about getting this one prop commission, which I will not say, or else I may not, fulfill with the idea, but I'm thinking about it. So look out, look out.
Little hidden surprise.
Yeah. So that is all from me.
Jason, how about you? Any cosplay commissions?
I have never had any done before, so.
No worries, no worries. Alrighty, so let me see. Cosplay commissions for me. I haven't reached out to anybody and like asked for a cosplay commission, but I do have like a few things that I've gotten. Well, actually, just one thing off of Etsy. It was like a little Pira Nikos emblem thing for her hip whenever I did her cosplay. I did just receive a gift from amazing, wholesome group of people. I don't want to say on the podcast recording, but I think by the time this comes out, I'll have the videos and the photos up. So I still want to say thank you for all of that. Oh, God, I'm going to get emotional. And then right now I'm working on a commission for a friend. I just need the motivation to get it done for them. So
You can do it!
Oh, yeah, exactly. I am the emotional body of the group.
Do it.
Alrighty, next up we have it's kind of a different sort of question. We asked beforehand, like, where do you get your cosplays? Talking mostly about like clothing, shoes, and all that. But now we're going to be asking, what are your go-to shops for supplies? So stuff like sewing needles. I'm trying to look around my room real quick. Like prop making stuff.
So for needles,
Mhm.
I have amazing stockpile of needles. Honestly, someone was getting rid of the sewing machine because it wasn't working, and I got the whole entire desk and the sewing machine and all of their supplies. So currently, I have like probably over 100 yards of bias tape. I have probably over 50 sewing needles. Like I have a bunch of sewing stuff, some that I don't even really know how to use that much. So right now, I'm not really getting anything because I'm still going through this pile, and I've had this pile for a couple years now. That being said, I am a sucker for yard sales and estate sales, and there are a few that are happening around here, and so I'll just show up and like any sewing machine, any like crochet needles, knitting needles, anything. If it's crafty and I think I can use it, I grab it. So I haven't really bought new sewing stuff in a while. I might need to suck it up and buy some new bobbins because some of the bobbins are kind of old in a little bit. But honestly, if I do that, I'll probably go to like Joann's or something. But for regular stuff, I'm just going through my stockpile still.
If it's anything that I would need to like get like a bigger set of, it would be Amazon. But recently I tried or I am in the current stages of trying to make a weapon, a fake cosplay cane weapon that can't do anything. YouTube. And I had to go to Home Depot to get some of the supplies for that, and also Walmart. Those are like the primary three places I would go to. Mainly, I've only gone to a Joann's once because there's not. I live in a very small town. We don't have those types of things. We have 16 hardware stores though, but and 3 Subways, but we don't have any sort of craft store like that. But so I don't have access to that type of thing. So most of the times either Amazon or Walmart are the main two, and then Home Depot if it's something that is more buildy, more PVC pipe related.
Yeah. So anywhere where I can get crafting supplies of where it is available, and also where I can save too to get those supplies, that's where I get them. My main go-to, excuse me, I had a speech flap.
Okay.
But my main go-to is a Walmart, Joann's, and Michael's, and other types of stores. If if I'm not able to get it in the store and I can get it online, I go ahead and, I see if I'm able to get it online. My decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I see if I go through with that decision or not. But, that's what I would do or would usually do. And am looking up on doing. So, places like that. I know Walmart has, fabric that you can get for pretty cheap, but then they don't have every single thing of fabric in the store, so you have to go to Joann's, and then Michael's really has fabric in the areas that it seems like whenever I go to Michael's and I go, like, they rarely have, fabric times when I go. So it's just, I think it's always bad timing when I go. So.
The places I have gone for a few of my stuff for what I'm going to be working on is it's been Joann's or Home Depot because those are the easiest places to get materials. And like you said, Walmart or Michael's as well. And there might be more I want to work on in the future. Who knows? But for now, do one first, go on to the next one.
Makes sense. Let's see. So I definitely agree with most of the stores, shopping like Walmart, Joann's. I haven't really shopped at Home Depot for cosplay supplies, mostly gardening stuff, but I never thought about going over there. Michael's, we have like a little Michael's over by like a burrito place, so I stop and get like all my craft supplies, get a burrito, and then go home and craft and eat food. So yay! But the other place I also wanted to mention was the dollar store, like Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Like you could get like glue and like fun little decals and stuff. You can get your paints. You can get paper, poster board, stuff like that. So yeah, the dollar store is, believe it or not, like even though it's like cheap items, it's like if you need it like really quick and you need it now, Dollar Tree is your best friend. Again, not
This
sponsored.
This is very true.
So yep. Alrighty. We have another question, kind of going back into clothing cosplay related type of thing, which is, do you alter your store-bought cosplays after receiving them? And if so, in what ways?
So one of the few store-bought cosplays I got was a Ghost Spider and Spider-Gwen. And I ended up having to let out the seams. I understood that it was a bodysuit, but it was still way too tight. I wasn't even able to zip it up, which is crazy because I went up a couple sizes. So I ended up taking some of the seams on the sides and in the back, and basically where there's that little overlap, I sliced it open and then barely made sure there's any overlap, and that just little bit all the way around helps make it fit more comfortably, so I was actually able to zip it up. My honey lemon, I don't think I ever actually did anything to it now that I'm saying this out loud. But usually, yeah.
The only things I've ever done to any store-bought cosplays is just add to it a lot of the time. Like I've never had any extreme alterations to them. I know I talked about this before, but one of the best examples I have is of my Batman Who Laughs cosplay. It's the Halloween costume with the fake foam collar. I put my leather jacket on, put the fake foam collar on, just flap it over it, so you still have that layered look that he has, and still has that more emphasized collar as well. And then I add my black spandex mask that goes over my whole face. That kind of looks like a bodysuit, body morph suit, but it's just the head of it. Plus the mask, because Halloween masks are usually just the front of the face. Instead of having my very not black hair showing through, I put on a thing, and it works, and people have complimented me on it and asked where I've gotten it, and it's just the leather jacket I found in my mom's closet, and that fit me magically. It was weird. And plus a Halloween costume that was like $20-$30. So I am considering altering my Jean Arc chest plate. I'm going to cry while I do it. I'm because I do not know how to do it, and I would just I'll probably just move into using the rest of the night more. Yeah, please. I will need that like tenfold because like or I'll just like send it to somebody fix it, make it better, please. Somebody who knows what the heck they're doing. Hey, maybe I'll just send it to the person who was doing my rest of the night. Be like, hey, it's kind of tight. Can you like loosen it out a little bit and like fix up the things on it? Maybe I'll ask them to do that. That'd be nice. For $100 more, sure. No. But yeah, but yeah, I've never heavily altered any of the cosplays I have that I've bought in any crazy ways. I've tried to fix the hands on my Spider-Man cosplay. It's not great. It works, but I wear this one more often nowadays anyway because it's the one that people know more. And this fits me a little bit better because I bought this in like 2019 and we got this like last year. And I've grown a little bit since my high school years. Just a little. And yeah, that's I never heavily altered any of my. Oh no, I did my Jean Arc shield. I actually altered a little bit. It's more just before I could barely fit my hand in the straps, but without any of like the armor that's supposed to go right there. So I don't know how to sew. So this was my reason. So I cut the strap for one, and probably the worst spot I could have done it. And then I took some elastic that I still had from making Springtrap's jaw, and I used some of the excess of that, and I put it in, and I stapled it in. I stapled the yeah. Everybody's cringing heavily. I know. I stapled it back together.
Was your
and
arm
it worked.
still in it?
No.
You're doing this, and I'm like,
you get a medal for bravery. My anxiety went up.
No, I have like worn like a spandex glove before and used hot glue on it before. That I have done.
Jeez.
But I did not just go.
That makes me feel better.
I did not do that. The armor also was not affected in this. I just needed to make it long, the one strap for it longer. So I made it longer, and I stapled the elastic to the band that was still there, and stapled that together. And then I put my arm in, and it fit. And now I can actually wear it with the armor on for that arm as well, because it's thick. And then how it is, it's like there's a bump, then smooths down out, and his arm is weird. It's okay. Johnny Boy's arm is very weird. We love him, but also his armor is shaped very weirdly. Mainly with the triangle goes right there. Yeah. Because he has a longer neck than I do as well. So, but yeah, no, I did not staple anything to myself yet.
Thank you.
That no yet.
No.
Let's
do not challenge yourself.
I don't have plans.
Please,
let's not challenge yourself.
Let's not try to do that.
But yeah, no, I haven't done that. But that was the only big alteration I've done to anything that's permanent, and it wasn't just me trying to fix it from it breaking. There we go. I found it. I talked for too long about this question, but go ahead, Bella.
Springy, I was actually going to go join everybody above me When you mentioned that, I was like, oh, okay, I'm coming to join them. But enough with the Sanford and Son jokes. What was the question again? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Do you alter your store-bought cosplays after receiving them? And if so, in what ways?
Okay, so, I have never personally gotten a store-bought cosplay, on my own, like, bought it, but, my first cosplay that, I received that I didn't have to make was, a UA, it was half of the UA girl's uniform, and my friend Low Budget Cosplay, she was giving me the Deku wig, and she's like, I have to pay in front of this, and the cosplay was too small for her, so she gave it to me, and now I'm enjoying it to the extent that I am, and like, I insist on paying you, and she wouldn't let me pay her any more than $20. But I was like, I insist on paying you. Use it for gas. But I bought that, and I didn't feel like I needed to do any alterations at first. But now, the more that I wear the skirt, I do feel like I need to put a zipper in the back because I have a very I have a body type where I think I just need to do that alteration. Just to sum that up. Oh, bless you, my child.
I
Bless
tried to
you.
save y'all.
Oh, thank you.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
But I'm thinking on altering that on my own, and I just received about a month ago, as of the day we were recording this. Who knows how long it'll be by then, but I'm trying to alter and fix up a cosplay that I got from a Depop seller because I had been looking for this cosplay for 3 years. I needed to replace her like super bad. She was a cosplay and things were just kind of falling apart. So I finally got her, and I brought one of her pieces up to revamp and repair a little bit. And I will be taking in I might be taking in the dress portion when I get back to my home. Oh yeah. Those are kind of my ends where I need to repair. Other than that, I don't usually get store-bought cosplays. I do have my eye on a few, but I have no rush to get them right now. There's no rush to, and if I do and I do find something wrong, then alterations will be made for those too. So yeah.
Cool beans. Jason, your turn.
Yeah.
I have never altered any that I have at the moment, but in the future there might be some changes, but for now I'm kind of still new to this, even though I've been doing it for 5 years, so it's still a new learning curve for me.
You got this, and we're here to help you learn, so ask away. We have the cosplay.
Of course, you can be a beginner for like 10 years because, not all of us has the time or has any time to like sit down, learn all this stuff at once. So, in everyone's cosplay journey, it's always good to take as much time as you need to while being a beginner. Build yourself up, and that's totally acceptable and that's understandable.
Right.
In with that real quick.
I want to let everybody know that, so that way, if you're a beginner cosplay, if you're a baby cosplayer, don't feel bad because all of the pro cosplayers, I'm telling you, if they see you, they're probably cheering you on for starting.
They most definitely are. Because when I first thought that I even might be starting doing cosplay stuff, I had a bunch of Halloween costumes, clearance Halloween costumes from Walmart.
Mhm.
And I just started wearing them and do like little silly TikTok videos. And I would have people in the comments like cheering me on, giving me tips for like my wig, giving me tips for how to do the transitions and stuff. It's okay if it takes you a while, and like they're. It doesn't matter if it's a closet cosplay, somebody bought it, you commissioned it, or if it's just a Walmart cosplay. Like any way you can get started is great.
Very true.
Yeah, I've been wanting to learn how to do those transitions on TikTok, but I really don't know how to.
Maybe that'll be a conversation next season. TikTok and cosplays, all that fun
Content
stuff.
creator tips and tricks.
Yeah, I like that. So let's see. We're gonna wrap up this question, which is a couple comments of my own, which is I have altered, I think, at least one piece of cosplay. Everything that I have is closet cosplay, and then I just sew on like fabric or lace or something to it. But one that I bought and I had to kind of adjust because I didn't realize just how feminine I am and whatnot. Sorry, gentlemen in the chat. But there was a Mitsuri Conjuro from Demon Slayer. Certain piece was not fitting right, so I had to safety pin some of those pieces together to like make it stay still, so that it wasn't like folding and like doing all this crazy stuff, and it's just a hassle to like deal with and all that. So safety pins are your best friend. You can get them at Joanne.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Righty. We have one more question actually for the morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time zone you are currently residing in or watching in, which is, I have to read this one because it's long. I saved the long one for last. Have you ever had issues with purchasing cosplay or cosplay related goods? This could be a wrong item sent, a wrong size, color was different than expected, or item got lost in the mail. Willow, take it away.
So one of my store-bought ones is a Honey Lemon cosplay from Big Hero 6. I freaking love her. But the problem, her dress ended up being a lot lighter yellow than I was expecting, and her cardigan ended up fading after a time or two in the wash because I was just starting wearing the cardigan with my regular clothes because it was so comfy. It had little strawberry buttons. It was adorable. Anyway, so my way to fix it was I just ended up dyeing the cardigan yellow again. I mean, I would still probably buy it again. It's just I forgot the second half of the question.
Oh, it's okay. Just had issue with purchasing cosplay related goods.
Yeah, that was like the only issue is that the fact that it was like cheaply made and it was fading fast. But the next month or so, I'm hoping to try to reinforce the collar and some of that stuff because it is one of my favorite cosplays, and I love Honey Lemon.
Oh, you got this.
Yes. I have a big head. So I tried to find a Roman torture hat. That didn't work out for me. Like I found a Freddy Krueger hat that fits my head very well. That fits my head even over a full mask. That's not just here. It's a full head, neck, down to like here mask with this on, and it's perfect. I can find that very easily. But the one for Roman I found is not one size fits all. So I'm still looking for a good hat for him. But everything else, the only other thing that I ever had size issues with was Jean Arc's chest plate, but that was because it got measured pre-pandemic. That's what we're saying it here. I measured it before that when I had a very active and a physical and active job. And then by the time it got here, it was mid-pandemic, and I could quit my job because it was very physical and very active and very next to a lot of people. So, and because I was the maintenance guy at Walmart. So, maintenance as in janitor of Walmart. So I was like, I feel like if I'm gonna catch something, I'm gonna catch it here. No hate towards Walmart as a company, just hate towards so some of the people who go into Walmart. The not the normal ones, the ones who don't clean. Anywho, carrying on from there. But yeah, those are the only 2 times I've really had big, unchangeable issues with size with any of my cosplays. Like I've had issues with these because they're Spider-Man suits. Everybody has issues with them in one way or another. But most of the time, I was able to do something and fix what I needed to do to get into them and everything pretty easily. But yeah. Anywho, carrying on.
So as I've explained earlier, I have not bought any cosplays from, sites at all that are official cosplay sites, where I experienced certain cosplay pieces getting lost in the mail. However, I did have a little scare, which, was, oops, I certainly overreacted within myself. But when I got my replacement cosplay, you guys know Ruby Rose from the show Ruby? That one. I was trying to replace her for a few years, and I finally got her in the mail this year. And on the cosplay, it showed, the cross things, and then the little embroidered rose semblance, which, had broken off of the belt. But I thought that she forgot that, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what, let's start at that place. And then I look in the pocket, I'm like, oh, it's in here. After I receive it. But a big plus is that in the photos of the cosplay on Depop, it showed that it had, rips and tears in it. Then when I got it in, there were no rips, there were no tears. I searched that thing intensely. Like, yeah, no rips and no things I need to fix on that except this one thing. So, so yeah. That was a +1 for me, which I was kind of very happy about. And if I missed something, I'm pretty sure I'll find it later. Yeah, that's just my thing with that one cosplay. But we'll see in the future if I experience all those things I experienced too. It's okay, we got it. I got the crew to help me out.
So the only issue I ever had was the very first one I bought, which was the school gym uniform, and it came in a size a little too smaller for me. And the first year I attended, the second year I attended Comic Con, I had the bottom part completely ripped because it was a little bit too small for me, and I still have it somewhere. I just haven't gotten rid of it yet. But after that, I'm like, I need to start ordering in the size step up, the next size up, because if I don't, then it's gone, it's ruined.
Yeah, the
definitely
size charts.
Yeah, so that's why if I look at medium, I go to
stuff too.
I
would
just want to go
recommend
for
if you guys are buying cosplays to definitely read reviews and you don't check the size chart twice. Check it as many times as you can. If you have fears. Anyway, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. I will provide that frying pan later.
So whenever I start buying online ones now, I don't buy mediums, I buy large because, like I said, if I order anything that is size down, it's gonna rip in. It's gone.
And you get like a little sewing kit and sew it back up.
I should, but I don't know how to sew everything, so I'm like, that kind of has me worried.
We need to
It's
do
not
that
safe.
sewing. We have folks here. Maybe we'll have
Making
YouTube.
YouTube sewing channel videos, by the
Let's
way, that'll be coming
go.
out in the next week or so.
There you go. One only source.
Yeah. I'm someone who's happy to do live sessions and lessons, you know, like we do like a face call, and you know, I just show you how to do it all.
Okay.
So I'm someone who definitely does that.
Alrighty, good stuff. So we're gonna wrap up the last question, at least what I have for now, which is, have I had issues? Yes. Were some of them my own fault because I didn't read? Yes. 100 times yes. Most of the time, I'm the one to blame because Ruby Rose, I needed just a plain black skirt. I was gonna sew some red lace at the end of it. I go onto Amazon, I see like a darkish color skirt. I'm like, that's the one I need. It comes in the mail, it is dark navy blue. And I'm like, I need black. Like black on black. So I had to go back, order like the black skirt, finally came in and all this stuff. So I feel like most of the time it's mostly my fault. But yes, definitely check reviews, check those size charts, you know, see what people are saying about the sizes. Lloyd's is a bit big. I tend to buy pretty big, so I could get away with the medium, but I'm always like worried, like, you know, how's the chest gonna fit? How's this piece gonna fit? You know, if it's like multiple layers, it's like, well, how are they all gonna stack? So I always get like a size up because I'm like, well, I could always like take it in later whenever I have time, energy, and motivation. The three things all cosplayers need. So, you know, like I could easily take it in. It's not too difficult, but it's a little bit better when it's a little bit bigger and whatnot. So pretty comfy indeed. And with that, I don't have any more questions regarding today's theme, but as always, I like to turn it over to the guest and tea sippers, again, starting with Willow and moving down the line. Do you have questions about Cosplay Tea Time, or for folks in the tea room or viewers out there about the theme? You're good? No questions? Springy?
No.
No? Alright. So
You
easy.
took that big gulp right there.
Bella?
So I don't have any questions for our chat, but I would like to do the thing that I normally do, and that is to, if you need a commissionist or you need help like learning how to do something, I am here. Instagram is BelladonnaRoseCosplays. You can definitely hit me up over there. And you know, I'd be happy to help anybody on their cosplay journey. So yeah, I'm not just a cosplayer who has like all this energy and this fun-loving personality of a grandma, but you know, I'm also an educator and you know, cosplay and cosmetology, which cosmetology is, you know, beauty and health and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. Alrighty, and last but not least, Jason.
I don't have any questions, but I want to know that anyone can cosplay whoever they want to be.
Exactly. 110%. You're right about that. Cosplay who you want. Rock that cosplay, as we know that's what you're doing. So, alrighty, and with that, we're gonna take off into our little cosplay corners of the world. But just want to say thank you to the guests and tea sippers that joined, participated in the conversation. A lot was definitely learned. I enjoyed hearing everybody's experiences. Just want to say too, thank you to the viewers out there. If you're a cosplayer and want to join Cosplay Tea Time, message us on our Instagram. Links in the description. And until then, we hope everyone is taking care and staying safe and keep sipping away. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Welcome to my guide on how to buy and or purchase cosplays and props. Understand your budget, whether you are making, commissioning, or buying a cosplay or prop. Always read reviews and do all the necessary research before you purchase what you want or need. Amazon, eBay, Depop, Poshmark, and other sites are great as long as you are comfortable with your purchase of choice. Look out for recommended payment methods and always message sellers on secondhand sites to make sure that you are getting what you're willing to pay for. Understand shipping times and look out for how much you spend in times of both deflation or inflation in the economy's market. Don't spend all your money in case if you need it for something else. Jump on opportunities to get a cosplay or supplies on sales, but don't jump on buying it out of fear or temptation. Keep the relaxing confidence when you shop. In case of a product is at default, make sure it is a fixable situation for yourself. If not, don't buy it or return it if you can. Look out for scam sellers and fake reviews, but enjoy the shopping search journey before purchasing. This gives you plenty of time to dream and or think on the cosplay that you want. Other than that,